Suddenly, coronavirus cases seem to be surging across the Sun Belt, tens of thousands of new cases in Florida, Texas, Arizona, and elsewhere. Is it time for another 2 months of quarantine? Not so fast. While coronavirus cases are growing quickly, deaths and hospitalizations are not. And it's not clear exactly why. Meanwhile, the American Academy of Pediatrics has strongly recommended that schools should reopen this fall with students physically present in the classroom. Scott Atlas is a physician. He's a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. He joins us tonight. Dr. Atlas, thanks so much for coming on. So to the first question first, why do you think it is we're seeing a surge in cases, but with the lower hospitalization and death rate?
Yeah, well, I mean, we expected more cases with more social mingling. And of course, as your show
Yes.
and others have seen, we had a lot of social mingling in the last few weeks. And with that social mingling, we're going to see more cases. By the way, with more testing, we're going to detect more cases. But the fact is, the overwhelming majority of these cases are younger, healthier people. These people do not have a significant problem. They do not have the serious complications. They do not die. And so it's fantastic news that we have a lot of cases, but we don't see deaths going up. And what that means is that, A, we're doing a better job protecting the vulnerable. B, we're in good shape here. We like the fact that there's a lot of cases in low-risk populations because that's exactly how we're going to get herd immunity, population immunity.
Right.
When low-risk people with no significant problem handling this virus, which is basically 99% of people, get this, they become immune and they block the pathways of connectivity to contagiousness of older, sicker people.
You're already hearing people say that we need another set of lockdowns, presumably that will end the presidential debates scheduled this fall. There's no doubt about that. And that will close schools for kids. Why are they saying that, do you suppose?
You know, I've said before, it's hard to understand people who think irrationally. So I don't know about why they're saying it, but we know why they shouldn't say it. There's no reason for a lockdown when we have something happening that we actually have no problem with. These do not translate into people going into respirators. The hospitalization stays, by the way, are half the length that they were before. We're doing very well with this. But the point about the schools is really critical because this is the most irrational public policy probably in modern history. Children have virtually zero risk of getting a serious complication, virtually zero risk of dying. We know that. It's from the data all over the world, not just in the U.S. There's no arguing about that data. We also know all over the world that children only rarely, if ever, transmit the disease. And so there's really no risk, but there's tremendous harm in not having in-person schools. As the American Association of Pediatrics pointed out, as the Hospital for Sick Kids in Toronto, one of the world's best hospitals for pediatric medicine, pointed out when they recommended full opening, no masks, no distancing. There is no science behind having children not attend schools. There is zero science for having children wear masks or have spacing when they have zero risk from the disease. People that are older in the teaching age, okay, well, teaching is a young profession. 50% of U.S. teachers in K through 12 are under 41 years old. They're not high risk, and 82% are under 55. For the few high-risk teachers, I think by now they probably know how to isolate themselves from 6 feet away from others or wear a mask. And if that's not enough, then frankly, those high-risk teachers can stay home and teach from a distance. You don't lock down the children because you are personally afraid. It's totally outrageous.
The most irrational policy in history. Our schools may be the most irrational institutions in history, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised by this. But thank you for your clarity, Dr. Atlas. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.